Welcome. How are you today? Well, it worked well last time, so.
See how it goes this time.
But just got some questions here for you that we I'd just like to go through here. You're a mother, you're a wife, which means that you have a family, and your little guy Alexander plays soccer with us, right?
That's correct.
In the fall, but he does karate too. So can you tell us some about your family's background?
Well, as you said earlier, the Shodan Academy is at the Gathering Place, and my husband is actually the owner and head sensei of the Gathering Place. And we've been over there since May. He's been in business for 4 years. And we have a 4-year-old son, Alexander, and Alexander just started karate about 2 months ago. Of course, my husband is beaming with pride, as you'll see him up here a little bit later. If you look at Ricardo's face, you'll see the expression. He's trying to hold back, but he's excited. And Alexander also plays soccer at the Gathering Place as well. And we really like being involved here at the church. We're members here at the church as well. And we love being involved with the youth sports at the Gathering Place. It's a great environment, and we greatly appreciate the involvement that you all have with the Gathering Place, participating in sports and coaching. As Cameron said, coaches are, worth $1 million, if not more. And I know that there are a lot of parents here that deal with my husband, deal with the coaches here, and we get great feedback just of the influence that coaches have on their kids' lives.
That's great. Actually, speaking of the coaches and the influence, this year via email or phone call or people pull me aside during game days or in practice, I've got more positive feedback. People just tell us how great their coaches are, whether they've had it for the first time or their next session. Like, can I have him or her again next session? So thanks for that. About a year ago, we started coming here to Community Church of Greenwood. What led you to our church, and what keeps you coming?
Sure. We discussed this last time, so I apologize if this is a repeated story. But we have had several seminars and classes and things like that at the Gathering Place prior to becoming, a business operating out of the Gathering Place. And a couple years ago, my husband's sensei, who lives in Sacramento, California, came to do a seminar for my husband's kids, the students, and he is a devout Christian, very active in his church when he's not traveling around the country, telling all the referees what to do in the United States. And at the time, we were not attending church, which was a shame on us kind of thing. And he said, you guys need to get involved in church. You need to get Alexander in church, and I think that place is the place you need to go. I'm just led to tell you that. Pastor Dean, he's a stand-up guy. I can tell just by meeting him today and all the people that I've dealt with at the Gathering Place at that time. And typically the wife is not the spiritual leader of the home, but he gave us a couple of assignments, and one of those assignments for me was to get my family in church. So, we thought about it, and after the holidays, I said, I'm going to take Sensei Melati's advice, and we're going to go to church. So a little over a year ago, we sat in the back, wore Sunday best, and realized that we should have had jeans on going to church, second service here at CCG, and we're hooked instantly. And I'm not standing up here to tell you that you should come to CCG. I'm just up here to tell you that get yourself involved in a church somewhere. A good Bible-based church is where you should be, and if you don't have a church home, this is definitely the place to come.
Thank you. Can you tell us about your life with your faith, the journey that you've come to the point you're at right now in your faith in Christ?
I was churched from birth, brought up in the church, was in youth group, Awana. I did all sorts of stuff with the church. My best friend's dad was my pastor from the time I was born until I graduated high school. Even went to church in college and through my 20s when I was living a life that wasn't pleasing to God or Jesus, either one. And just really tried to focus still on my church activities, but came to a realization pretty much even after we started coming here that I was missing something. And while I had given my life to Christ many, many years ago, and many of us have, we don't follow what we really should be doing. And I just learned we as a family learned after we came here that we were missing that faith in our lives. And church stuff, and I don't want to do any of that stuff, and I don't want someone to tell me what to do or how to live my life. Well, I didn't listen to people trying to tell me how to live my life for a long, long time, but the one thing I always have to tell people is that I don't want what I'm doing here to be the end result. I want what I'm doing here to carry on for eternity, not just for my own soul and my own eternal life, but for the people that I might leave behind here. And, that's the one thing I always try to get across to people is that, do you want everything that you're doing here not to matter? Do you just want to become dust in the wind someday? I don't. I want the fact that I'm standing up here giving my testimony to mean something, not just mean something today, but mean something long term.
But since you joined the church roughly a year ago, how has your faith been impacted? As a family, our faith, our relationship as a family has changed immensely. We deal with our son differently. We encourage him to behave because of different reasons now. Jesus doesn't want you to act like that. And our marriage has changed. As Ricardo and I were just talking about, if we have a rough morning before church, we've had a rough week before Sunday, Alexander's driven us crazy before we left for church. We sit right back there every Sunday with our small group, our good friends some of them are here now, and no matter what the situation has been prior to coming to church, we always end up scooting closer to each other. We hold hands, and by the time we leave, we're back to center. And that's really important for us, is that we want Alexander to know that marriage is something that should be formed from God, and that it's long term, and that you respect each other and you respect that union. So thank you so much. Thank you.